Welcome, ladies and gents, for your daily dose of horror from me, Mr. H Reviews. So today I'm going to bring you another exclusive in the world of Hellraiser. So for the Hellraiser reboot, we've of course got a brand new world. It's not a continuation of the previous movies. It's its own thing. Initially it was stated to be more like the novella. It is and it isn't. So I've got sources that have seen the film, and I've been leaking information here and there. And this is kind of one of those things, like I'm leaking some more information. This is specifically to do with the brand new Hell Priest, Pinhead, played by Jamie Clayton, a trans actor. And this information will be music to the ears of the fans of the novella, because there's a lot more reminiscent of the novella here with her iteration than Doug Bradley's. Not that there's any issue with Doug Bradley's iteration at all. It is its own thing and it's fantastic. He made the character iconic, and it is an icon. And then there's some interesting tidbits of information with respect to how the Cenobites are created. Now, I've done some other videos on all of this, and I'll leave it linked in the description box. Please do check them out. Everything that I leaked quite a while ago has now been confirmed, so you don't need to take this with a pinch of salt. You can take this as fact. This is a given, and I stand by that because it's all been proven to be completely true. But anyway, let's dive into it, right? So, like I said, this is the Hell Priest, played by Jamie Clayton. Now, again, this is all just kind of some more background information, I guess, with respect to the character and how this actor plays the Pinhead. Now, I was told, with respect to how Jamie Clayton's Pinhead stacks up against Doug Bradley, they're portraying it as a very similar quiet reserve. Very, very similar quiet reserve. That sort of nuanced, slow, steady, thoughtful performance. It's a very underplayed, understated performance, much in the same way as Doug Bradley. However, there are some distinct differences. So, whereas Doug Bradley's Pinhead would show some, distinct moments of anger and frustration, more so obviously in the later movies than the first two, but there were some anger and frustration shown in Doug Bradley's. This character, this iteration of Pinhead, doesn't show any of that at all. We don't see any of that remotely. Now, how they're doing the voice, again, this is where you guys will think, oh yeah, okay, love it. Yes and no with respect to more so the novella, but there's no booming voice to this Pinhead. Whereas Doug Bradley, his voice, a lot of people don't know this, but his voice was put through, obviously processing. That's not his voice. So, it is his voice, but it's not. He didn't do... He lacks the ability to control his vocal cords to drop to the decibels that Pinhead does, and how it performs overall. So Jamie Clayton's Pinhead is not like that. The voice is very hushed. So she speaks in very hushed tone, like a gravelly whisper. Now obviously that's been modified, of course, to sound deeper and more ethereal. There's an otherworldly nature to it, which is good. Again, that's very more reminiscent to the novella than anything else. And she also seems, well, how her character is portrayed in this, she seems very curious about human nature, right? Particularly when a character in the movie has made a decision she isn't expecting. So there's this sort of curiosity about who and what humans are and why they do the things that they do. But overall, she's powerful, frightening, and grotesque. So, what you want Pinhead to be. Now, that's good. Love that. Cool. Perfect. Interestingly enough, though, we do see the creation of a Cenobite in this movie, which, I was generally surprised to hear, because I'm just surprised that they went there with it, but it's good. So this is very, very different to what we saw in Hellraiser 2 with the Dr. Cenobite, Chenard, as well as Elliot Spencer being turned into Cenobites. This plays on the angels to some, demons to others nature. So a character in the movie wakens up and they're on a golden altar that appears almost Egyptian in design, bathed in blinding white light. So this is that sort of, oh yeah, angels to some, demons to others. They appear to be fully nude and all the hair has been removed from their body and they're unable to move from the altar, so they're just stuck there. Whilst they're stuck there, various scars and lacerations slowly begin to form patterns all over their skin. And whilst this is happening, this powerful and almost heavenly light begins to erupt and envelop them. So this is described to be disturbing but oddly beautiful, and of course there's a very stark contrast from the incredibly violent transformation and very, very painful transformation that was in the Hellraiser 2. I mean, it is like it's not a nice transformation that you see them go through. Now, how the box, which you can kind of see a little bit in Jamie Clayton's throat here, how the box forms into the story here. The box itself changes into multiple configurations throughout the movie, but each time it is solved, a teeny weeny little blade, well, a small blade, suddenly shoots out of its surface, cutting the hands or digits of the user. Now this, interestingly, is a little bit more of an archaic approach, but this is how a victim of the Cenobite is, a victim of the Cenobites is marked, and that's when they're summoned. That's who they're summoned to go and collect. So it's the blood, actually, that calls to the Cenobites, not desire, which don't like this that much, but still interesting. So the only contradiction to the lore itself is this protruding blade can, however, actually be used against anyone, and the Cenobites don't seem to care whose blood is given so long as a victim is claimed. Which I guess, somewhat reminiscent, I guess, maybe. Because, of course, Kirsty calls to the Pinhead, calls to the Cenobites. They want to claim her. She offers up Frank instead. They accept the bargain. Realistically, they could take her, but they choose to take someone else. But in the second one, they elaborate and say, well, it's not, it's not hands that call us, it's desire. So you could see this as a law break or not, I guess, interestingly. But, that's for you guys to debate in the comments section. But interestingly, and this is interesting, is that blade itself can actually be used against other Cenobites. Which is interesting, I think, personally. But it also is kind of hand in hand with the wider lore of the expanded media, is that those kind of artifacts can hurt Cenobites. So maybe it kind of ties into that. Now, interestingly, Leviathan does appear exactly the same as how he looks in Hellbound. Just a giant diamond floating in the sky. The surface itself, of course, matches the puzzle box pattern. And it's nice that it just makes an appearance. It's only seen, not a lot, but it does make a grand appearance in the third act. So there you have it, ladies and gents. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, take this as fact. Don't take this with a pinch of salt. Everything I've already covered on this has been proven to be 100% true. From everything that's been coming out recently from Entertainment Weekly and Bruckner over on Twitter and things like that. So debate this in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Take care. Have a great day.